In this video, we're going to add sketch canvas images. After completing this step, you'll be able to use Canvas and calibrate a canvas image. In Fusion 360, we're going to start with a new untitled document. We're going to be using the default metric settings, and we're going to go to Insert, and we're going to select Canvas. Using Insert Canvas allows us to select an image from an uploaded location or directly from our computer. What we're going to do is navigate to the location on our computer where we have the image saved. We want to use Saw Image and select Open. We need to pick a location, and in this case, we're going to make sure that we stick it on the front plane, which in our case is going to be the XZ plane. I'm going to rotate around to a front view, and I want to take a look at the image. I want to mirror it across this plane, making sure that the logo Ryobi is actually spelled correctly. We can change the location, we can move it around, but at this point it's actually not that important. We can leave it where it is based on the origin, but we do want to look at some of the settings that we have. If we want it to be selectable, we want to make sure that we activate that. If we want it to be renderable, we want to activate that as well. For our purposes, we actually want to leave both of those options off, and we want to use display through. This means that we're able to see it through, basically use it as an image reference, but not completely obscured. Then we also can change the opacity. If you want it to be fully at 100%, that means you'll have a much harder time seeing through it. But if you have it too light, for example, down here around 10, then it's going to be much harder for you to get the references. In most cases, right around 50% is going to be a good option. We're going to say OK. And now we have to figure out what size this is. To do that, we need to go into our canvases, right-click on Saw Image, and select Calibrate. When we use Calibrate, we'll need to select 2 points on our image, and for us, we have this handy scale at the bottom. So we're going to select 1 point here, and all the way on the right-hand side, another point. Notice that it's coming in at about 17 millimeters, and it needs to be 415. Once we do that, we can go back, zoom out, and now we have an appropriately sized image. The image itself is 415 millimeters from those 2 selected points. This now means that as we begin to sketch any of our components, we know that they're going to be appropriately sized. Just like any other references, bodies, sketches, or canvases can all be turned on or off by expanding them in the browser and using the eye icon next to them. We're going to be leaving it on for our example, but at this point we want to make sure that we save this. I'm going to put it in a new subfolder called Parametric Modeling, and I'm simply going to call it Trigger. We're going to be using this as a reference to model the trigger for this reciprocating saw. Once you have yours saved, go ahead and move on to the next step.